I wanted to create a video today as a little self-massage for all the people protesting, all the people on the front lines fighting the pandemic, all the people on the front lines fighting the unjust systemic racism that we're all dealing with right now. I wanted to just put this out because it's so crucial to incorporate self-care into your routines. I know all of you are putting yourself out there and are caring heart and soul, mind, body, everything for the collective and for individuals that are really struggling, but I want you to take care of yourself. Self-care is something that we need to have in our front pocket. It needs to be easily accessible, it needs to always be there, it needs to feel warm and soft on our leg, like one of those pockets that men have. Like the man jeans have these big, deep, thick pockets that you just slide in, and you can pull out your deck of self-care cards and go, which one do I want to use today? Not those little skimpy jean ones where you can only stick like 3 fingers in. Anyways, let's pull out our deck of cards, and hopefully you have time to do a little self-massage today. I know there's a lot of swelling probably, and a lot of edema, and we just want to gently flush that up and get it out of our legs. We're also going to be addressing root chakra with all this. You know, this is where we come from, dealing with these systemic issues and dealing with matters of life and death. So let's get started. I'm going to use just simple lubricant today. Love this stuff. I've used it my whole life. It's a great massaging lotion, and it glides really easily. So pick whatever you want, but we're going to just start sliding that just effleurage all over the leg. Make sure you get a nice lubed up surface, and that'll make the massage just go a lot more fluid for yourself. You're really just going to want to touch what feels good and just get to know your legs, get to know your body, get to know where your connections are, the density of crossing over at the tendons right here at the ankle. You need to feel where you're mobile, things like that. So I'm going to kind of talk us through a little, I'm not even going to call this routine because I haven't I'm making this up now. But you do what feels right, you stay as long as you want on a certain place, and I'm also going to use a little body paint. A little red. I just want to, maybe it'll show up in the video, but this is just really, to me, a little self-massage with my root chakra. And red is the color of the root, the home, the base. This is our foundation where we start our feet walking on the earth. So, start sliding that lotion down your legs, and then get at your feet. Get a nice firm grip on just the base of your toes, the ball of your foot. Start wiggling it around. Wiggling it like you're trying to scissor your metatarsals, the bones that go from your ankle into your toes. Scissor the metatarsals. Start doing some thumb circles down the front face of the foot. That feels really good to get into the toes, right below where the toes separate and start. Just really put your thumbs in that top portion, more forward than the arch of your foot. Give that some nice circles. That feels good. I'm going to stay here for a second. You can do it concurrently, you can do it alternating. You can get into your toes. Follow your toes one by one, encircle them, grasp with your whole hand. Just squeeze each one individually. Say, I am here for you, you are here for me. Together, we make up this body. We do the work that needs to be done. That you are special, and you are needed. And we just continue like that with every single toe. I know I'm moving around a lot, but that's how it goes when you self-massage. You're in these funky angles. We all have different levels of flexibility, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. Just don't strain yourself first. So you need to have a prop behind you. I can let you pause the video and figure out what suits you best, because we're going to be here for about 10 minutes. Just pull each toe. I'm still on my second toe. I'm just pulling it, and then I'm twisting it in my fingers, like when you're like rolling almost in between my fingers, like a little worm of dough. And then I'm drawing a circle with each toe. Pulling, just making an O, making a zero. Keeping up the following toes, pulling, pulling, pulling. Oh, they just want a little stretch. Ooh, pulling back and forth. And you can get these a yank. Like, massage isn't always gentle. Massage isn't always rough. It's whatever you want it to be. And I'm just on my fourth toe now, just pulling out. Good, glide through and touch those bony crevices that never get touched. And I don't think many of us are getting pedicures right now. And so we want to put our fingers in those webs of the toes, just give them life. When they get stagnant, you can get congestion, and you can actually get outside things like fungus and stuff if you don't just take care of your toes and your feet, knowing that whatever you're around is gonna find their way onto them. And then I'm at my pinky toe, just circling it. Circle, circle, circle. And then I'm just gliding over those metatarsals, the bones on the front of the foot. And it's just pulling up. And I'm kind of digging in like that. I like that. I like pulling where I can feel 4 different fingers kind of grazing. And then from my fingers being where my ankle meets, where I can mobilize my ankle, I'm like, ooh, that feels really good there. So you've got so much fascia here crossing over these ankles, and the fascia doesn't get nearly as much blood as say a red muscle. So we want to just circle that out and rub it back and forth, up and down, circling around. A lot of my self-massages, I just are like, I'm shushing everything. Everything gets a good yay. Okay, so that feels good, and then I'm introduced to my ankle bones, the malleoli. So those are circular, so it makes sense to just do a circular motion on top of those. And I'm feeling a little dry, so I'm gonna get some Lubriderm, get some of my body pain because I just like it right now, and circle over those malleoli. And of course, this is a thinner skin area, so if you're feeling any pain, stop. You know, this is where a lot of blood vessels and nerves are. We each have our own sensitivity of those, but it is nice to just circle the malleoli, the ankle bones. There we go. And then kind of just make a half moon back and forth on either side at the right under the ankle bones. Make a half moon there, back and forth. That feels good. There's a lot of acupressure points and acupuncture points, so if you're familiar with any of those, you know this is a really heady place. I can't speak more to that right now, but look it up. Alright, and then from then we've kind of covered the front of the foot, and now I just want to go to the bottom. That's where we're stomping on, that's where we're walking, that's where we're lifting. So really get into the base of the toes here, like the ball of the foot. Just crunch, 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 pull. Oh, make sure you kind of go slow at some points, just like a deep pull. But also let gravity help you here. So putting your foot down and then not necessarily putting weight on your toes, but letting your fingers meet your feet and then just, I'm probably exerting a pound of pressure from my foot just being down on gravity. Not totally sure. But just let that gravity kind of help you decide where feels good. If you feel any little bubbles, go towards those. And so I'm feeling a lot more little kinks on where my pinky and my toe next to the pinky meet. So I'm kind of hanging out here a little bit, and that feels nice. Make sure you get the sides of the ball of the foot. And then one of my favorite things to do is come with your saw of your hand, and we just call this sawing. Saw the lateral aspect of the foot, just back and forth, back and forth. Little saw. Get your wood chop on. And this is we're just connecting the sides. We're connecting the front and the bottom, top and the bottom. And then don't forget the heel. That heel is a bugger, let me tell you. The foot is all a really good place for obviously reflexology and points, but the heel is a tough area. It's just tough. So we want to make sure that we acknowledge it and that we touch it and we feel which sides maybe have a little more callousing. And I'm just circling my the thumb around the right inner side. So I'm starting with my left foot. So the right inner side of the heel. And I'm just circling that area where it feels a little callous. And I'm not trying to I can't get rid of any calluses with my thumb, but it just feels like stuck a little bit. So that's where I'm at. And I'm going a little quicker too, just mixing it up, seeing how that feels. But I'm often pulling backwards towards me. And that just, we want to keep a continuous flow this way. So most of your motions should be going towards your heart. We don't want anything draining out of a open wound in your foot. That's not. If you have any open wounds, please do not massage over them. They are actively healing and they need time. We don't need to go opening up anything. And that I was just getting a little bit more into the arch of my foot because I just realized that I hadn't done that yet. And so this is where a lot of people feel a really sharp, uncomfortable pulls from plantar fasciitis. The fascia coming over the arch of the foot gets really tight if you don't, if we sit a lot, we don't necessarily engage the flexibility of our fascia. And so making sure that that's always nice and limber, lubricated, glides. We just want our body to glide. That's really where we're at. And I'm just circling with my fingers. pulling back, alternating, pulling back, alternating, pulling back. And then do a little more lubriderm. And then I want to get into my lower leg, pulling up. Well, I'm pulling down, so I'm just effleurage, and this is light. But take a second just to feel how nice it feels to just really lightly pet yourself. It's a totally different sensation. It reminds me of mom rubbing my back, reading a story, or when I'm sick. It reminds me of being sick and having someone touch me, pet me, that's not sure how fragile you are. But it just feels so caring. It's a much different sensation than massage. So this is fun to experience, and I hope you're getting something out of it. Just going slower, just going nice and simple. Now I'm going to start working into the malleoli. The top of the ankle. Still feel a lot of crunchies in there on the top of the ankle. That's okay, that's good. Keep working that as much as feels good. Never digging in. But then come out just by the shin bone and just run your fingers all the way up that shin bone. All the way on the left side of that shin bone, if you're on your left leg. Because this is where this big tibialis anterior, the meaty part of the shin, is attached all along here. And so we kind of just want to start at the shin bone and then pull laterally, like push it off a little bit. Because anything that gets too tied up to the bone, it's just tight, so it can cause pain. I mean, we obviously want our muscles to stay connected to our bone, but yeah, it just releases some pressure and gives us a sensation of freedom. So I'm just working my way down the shin bone. I'm about at a 3 or 4 pressure. If 10 is being like intense, and as self-massage, it's hard to get that much pressure because you're exerting pressure on. It's just a weird physics law. You can't get as much pressure as someone else doing these things to you, or we don't recognize it. So I'm not sure. Not sure which. But I'm just pulling out from the shin bone still and working my way down. And I'm just kind of doing a rolling motion, slow at times, and a little faster. And I just work my way kind of up and down, but then now I'm going to pull up and just really get the base of my hand onto the really meaty part of that tibialis anterior and just pull up like that. So I'm squeezing my arm into my leg, ooh, and then getting just, little more layers deep there. And just pull up. And that just feels good. That feels good right there. And I'm just doing one row. This is pretty much where my hand, if I were to go any more laterally, my hand would fall off this muscle. And obviously I don't want to be right on the shin bone. But I can come with my fingers and be right on the shin bone. And just move that up and down because we don't want any of that to be stuck where the skin is thinner on the bone. And see if I can just do a little quicker, a little more active. And then pull up, pull up, pull up. Okay, let's get into the Achilles. Hello, love the Achilles, but let's get into it. Just crossing your fingers, goalpost, finger was cross over Achilles is here, and just go whoop, 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 whoop. And then that starts to get into the calf. And I'm starting to alternate because I'm just feeling it out first. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But pulling up, pulling up. This is, I'm sure, what's really getting you walking and being on your feet all day, is this connection back here. So really feel as free as you will ever feel to just spend time here. You're already here. You've already committed to following along with me today. And I'm still just alternating because that's what I'm liking right now. But as I start to get into the thicker area of the calves, a little more swing room on the muscle, I'm actually, yeah, this is good. So I'm putting my thumbs behind on the section, so the calf splits into two, and I'm putting my thumbs here and kind of working along that median. And then on the sides, kind of alternating my fingers. I might have not explained that right. I'm not sure I'm exactly doing that, but you'll figure something out. But I am just pulling apart those two sides of the calf. And you're going to feel the most pressure just in the middle. The calf starts raising probably 4 or 5 inches above the Achilles tendon. So we have the soleus, which is the thinner back muscle closest to the bone, and then the big meaty part that we kind of think of our calf is split into two, and it's higher. It starts higher up. We got the Achilles tendon that connects to it up here, and then that brings us to our knee. A lot of people have knee problems, and it is not something to take lightly, you guys. We need our knees. We have them our whole lives, and we got to protect that cartilage. We got to protect the tendons and ligaments that sustain it, that hold it up. So now I want you to take your thumbs, and where the shin bone starts, just go an inch above that. We're in this kind of tendon-y area below the patella, below where the kneecap actually is. This is where ACL, meniscus, all those tears, that's where all this happens. So I'm just alternating my thumbs right here, back and forth, and I'm going laterally. So, or laterally and medially at the same time. Let's just call it horizontal. I'm going horizontal, back and forth. And this is just another feel-good area. We need a little touch here. It's not something that gets attention. And I'm kind of working my way up the sides. You see I've kind of moved my thumbs together to work on one side of the patella, and then I'm going to move my thumbs to work on the other side of the patella. All that feels good. And then just give your patella a little rock back and forth. Push it back. It's mobile in there. It's not connected to anything other than tendon, so it's fun. Just make sure that guy's moving, grooving. Of course, if you're having knee injuries, just be safe. Listen to your body. And then my favorite part, we grab our knees, we just put our hands on the sides of it, and we pull up and down. Bring in love and light, circle it up and down. Bring in love and light, and just hold the knee like a ball of fire, like you're freaking so happy and warm to be here. And pull it down, and then love and light, we pull up, and we circle back down behind the knee, and then we pull up, love and light. Love and light. I love little affirmations like that you can just visualize and really feel it. I mean, I felt like this is where love and light was coming into, and I felt a little happy. I'm feeling happy this whole time, but that especially was just called out to me. And so now I'm working in the back of the knee. lot of crossovers. This is where lymph nodes collect. This is where blood and veins and nerves are all crossing over. So it can be a delicate area. So don't dig in at all here. Just pull upwards towards your heart. You can circle around if you want. It doesn't feel that good to me personally. And then just keep going. And I'm going to go back to that love and light area because as I pulled up to love and light, I found this great connection on my hearts and my quads. Oh, so I'm just squeezing in like where your bike shorts hit, just right above the knee here. So this is where the vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, rectus femoris is right in the middle. That's the quad, but we have three big muscles that form the quad group. But the vastus medialis and lateralis is where taking your heel and sandwiching those in and doing like a circular motion, that feels good. Because on the vastus lateralis, you're getting into where the IT band connects to the knees. That's a real juicy place to just make sure there's some lubrication. And then on the inside, the inside of the thigh is a sensitive place mentally for a lot of people, and physically too. It's not a place we get touched. You don't ever touch someone in their inner thigh. You don't, and you shouldn't, unless you're close with them. And hell, the more people we can be close to, the better. But this is a private area, so really getting yourself comfortable touching can go a long ways to just being comfortable in your body and having a good self-image. So I'm making my rounds a little bigger now. Pulling, circling back to the knee, pulling back, and starting to just pull my fingers and drain from that knee. And then I like to give a little zhuzh to the top of the bottom, the tendon where the rectus femoris, that main center quad muscle, connects to the kneecap. If you do a lot of squats, lunges, you can feel a lot of tension there. So make that a little happy. Oh, and just keep going with that quad. It's a big guy. It's big. It's long, weird red muscle. And this feels nice too, getting to go on you're getting your whole body into it. Like I said about gravity earlier, let gravity help you, and let just the natural rhythm of your body work together. Like squeezing things comes naturally. It's not an unusual thing for us to do. We wring out towels, we lift ourselves up out of chairs, so we're always squeezing. But this just feels good to do it on either side there, because you're really bringing it together. You're bringing it to the core of your leg, your root. And we want to make this a foundation. We want to give ourselves support always. So I'm just bringing it up, and then getting towards the end here, I'm just going to go back towards the back of the knee, and doing this kind of pumping, circling back slightly under the knee is going to get some of your lymph motions going. So pulling lightly from the hollow of the knee, and then you can kind of feel a couple different things going on with your hamstrings. Hamstrings, we have three. Okay, so we've got a couple different hamstrings going on, and the outer ones there's two, and the middle one there's one. Not really important right here, ignore me. But they separate in the middle again, so, but not evenly. None of the muscles here are even. one's bigger than the other. They have different jobs. Okay, so I'm just still pulling in the middle because, and I'm kind of bouncing too. That feels good. Bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Massage it's goofy. And I'm pulling, now pulling out, like surrounding again, but I'm pulling from the back this time. And you can kind of, on either side of your hamstring, start milking a little bit, grabbing the two sides of the hamstring and just pulling, squeezing in the middle. But you're milking it because it's one continuous muscle. And this is more what we call pec massage, where you're really getting into the more heavy, broad, heavy strokes of massage. And you're definitely getting a little deeper. And so just go as deep as you feel comfortable. But it feels just great to come up on this IT band, let me tell you. And then this is kind of a lymphatic motion. We have a lot of lymph nodes here in our groin. And so you can bring the base of your hand where your crotch kind of starts, where your leg starts. And you can see I'm just in the center of my leg here. And you can make sure you're in a comfortable position because you don't want to activate your core during this. But just do a gentle push down. But towards yourself. Gently push down and move a little bit towards you. Like inner towards your belly button. Definitely make sure you're feeling calm during this. And do it at the rate of 1 per second. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and then just pull up. And just see how your skin pulls up when you just lightly pull it. And that'll help with the flow as well. Alright guys, I don't know about you, but I feel good. I like getting all this red paint on me. If you're going to do this at home, don't use this regular art supplies. I have an actual body paint. If you don't have body paint, I don't know, get creative. Maybe some food-safe products, food dyes. I don't know about dyes. Like Jello beets. Oh my god, get like a beet paste and smear it all over your leg. That's crunchy, huh? Okay, guys, first responders, all the people out there protesting, thank you so much. You mean the world to all of us. What you're doing is not unnoticed. We see you, we love you, we thank you. And rewind this video to do the other leg. It's really important to be symmetrical, and there's no way I would do exactly what I did on this leg in a video right now. Because I don't have a memory like that, but be creative, play with yourself, and just send yourself love. So, thank you so much, guys.